record, and I will just lock the room for safety. Okay, so hello and welcome. My name is Claire Adams. I'm Deputy Head at Ringwood School. I'm here really mainly for technical support tonight. So I'll be the host, making sure that everybody gets a chance to speak about their different subjects and answer any questions that you might have. If you do have a question, because everybody obviously is muted, if you are happy to post that in the chat as we go through the evening and different people will speak, I'll field that for you so that I can pose those questions to the panel about the different subjects or the options process. So I'm just going to hand over to Michelle, who will introduce and host this evening.
Hello and good evening. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And apologies, we were running a few minutes late. We just had a few little technical problems getting everybody in. Claire, if you wouldn't mind just popping to slide one, amazing. Thank you so much. So my job just is to outline why we're asking you to have the process of selecting some creative options before I hand over to the subject leaders. So in year 9, everyone will study the subjects that are on your screen. They will study English, maths, science, computing, PSHE, which we used to call life choices. Everybody will now do history, geography, and ethics and philosophy. Everybody will do French, unless they weren't doing French this year or the year before, and I'll come on to that in a little while, and at least one PE lesson. Thank you, Claire. But we then have the opportunity in terms of devising a little bit of choice in your curriculum. So we asked for students to choose a couple of their options, which could be influencing future career decisions. It might be something they're passionate about. It might be that they get a real buzz out of the subject and want to have a little taster of certain subjects before they might then go on to choose them in year 10. It also gives us a little bit like the old sandwich degrees or the foundation degrees that people used to do before doing their full degree at university. It allows for a year of a little bit more depth in some of the creative options to upskill themselves ready before they start their GCSEs. So what we're asking you to do, if we could just click the slide there, please, Claire. First thing we'd like you to do is to think about the creative blocks within the week. So there will be 2 double lessons in each of the week where students will be able to select from 6 different subjects, 6 different creative subjects. And we would like you to tell us what you would like to do in each of those double lessons. Now you can choose from art, the creative textiles pathway, drama, food, music with music technology, and technology itself. The idea being that rather than being on a carousel rotation like you've been on in the past in year 7 and 8, and only doing maybe a term's worth of work in one of those subjects, that actually you can study it in greater depth for a whole year. The other thing that you might want to do, if we could just go on to the next slide, is you might want to do one of those creative options, but you might also want to pick up a second language. Now, what we realised is that there was many students within the school wanting to pick up Spanish when they got into year 10, which is amazing. One of the most widely spoken languages in the world. We realise it opens so many doors for so many careers in the future. And by starting it in year 10, we're not really advantaging our young people. So we've decided over the last few years to start dropping it down a little bit earlier. We used to do that instead of maybe picking up a history or geography. But what we realised that there's a lot of students that want to carry on with both history and geography and Spanish. So what we've decided to do this year for the first time, to see how it goes, is that some students that want to pick up Spanish as a second language can do so in one of their creative blocks, and then they pick up another creative subject in the other block. Now, we realise that a double lesson of a language isn't probably quite enough. So the way that we can get a third lesson is for students that are wanting to do Spanish, they will replace the PSHE lesson with a Spanish lesson. So for those students, they will do PSHE in their normal tutor time. So they'll still cover all the mandatory units that we need to go through in their single lesson, and then they'll do a double lesson of Spanish in their creative block. That means that they get to pick up a creative option, they'll do PSHE in their tutor time, and they'll still get to do then a Spanish. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we'd like you to do now is have a quick listen to our subject leaders, who are going to talk very briefly about each of their subjects. And first I'm going to pass over to our Head of Art, Anton.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. So Art in Year 9 is an opportunity for you to become a bit more of an independent artist and an independent learner. A double lesson a week, pointed out, means that you can start to explore in a wider way in the subject. You're used to being slightly more prescribed to, told what to do in Year 7 and 8, but in Year 9 we treat you very much like GCSE students. So you'll start to learn the basics of art and design at GCSE, and essentially we treat you exactly like GCSE students, so that you're able to hit the ground running in Year 10 and fully understand what making an art project is like according to the GCSE criteria. You'll be given a theme that you're asked to respond to. There will be set tasks at the start of the course, but then you'll start to go your own way with the projects as the year goes on. And the double a week is really a real bonus for all the artists in Year 9, because you can really get stuck into more in-depth creativity and more ambitious work. So you can explore a wide range of materials. There's no real restriction to what you choose to explore. You can move into 3D, drawing, printing, painting. You can use a lot of photography throughout the art and design, because we always use that for source material, if any of you were wondering about that. They explore and be more independent. And just by the way, it's the art isn't a barrier to any. I'm now going to hand over to Jo Busuttil to talk to you about the creative textiles option.
She's just joining back into the call, so hopefully Jo has just arrived back in, and she is still there. Anton, would you mind just going over the last sentence that you said? Your sound just cut in and out a little bit there, so just the last piece that you were saying, I think, if you wouldn't mind, before we hand over.
Yeah, I think I was saying that I was just reminding the parents and students that their art choice isn't a barrier to any of the other creative GCSEs. If they've done art in Year 9, that's a great foundation for switching to photography or textiles, or sticking with art and design.
That's lovely. Thank you, Anton. And Jo.
Thanks, Claire. Sorry, some technical issues there. Hello, everyone. So my name's Jo Busuttil, and I'm the subject leader for textiles here at Ringwood School. So in Year 9, students will be doing a project based on the theme of pattern. This project will be taught in a similar approach to GCSE, much like with art, a lot more freedom. It will involve creating a beautiful sketchbook full of textile samples, sketches, photographs, notes, and that will lead the students on a journey from learning the different processes and techniques through to designing and making a bag. Pattern will be our theme for the project and our starting point. But as the project develops, students will begin to explore their own ideas and areas of interest through mind mapping ideas, taking photographs, making drawings, exploring these ideas through textiles. So the course will begin with learning a wide variety of textile techniques, some of which are wet felting, needle felting, applique, fabric painting, hand embroidery, as well as lots of other techniques which are probably new to most students. They will be taught to use a sewing machine and develop their skills and confidence while experimenting with machine embroidery and using the machines to combine processes and techniques in an exciting way. The course will introduce students to the work of textile artists and fashion designers, and will make an experiment with the making responses. As the course progresses, we'll then begin to develop and design ideas for a bag. So students will be able to showcase their skills that they've learned on the course so far, as well as learning the basics of using a pattern and constructing a simple bag using the sewing machine. So in summary, by choosing textiles as one of their creative options, your son or daughter will go on a creative journey in a supportive environment where they'll learn lots of new life skills that will be valuable no matter what they choose to do next, and hopefully have fun doing it. So that's just a brief outline of the textiles course, and obviously I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have later. So I'll now pass you on to Elise to talk about drama.
Just unmuting. Bear with us, Elise, and it will just unmute. There you go.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Elise Delancey Green. I'm the subject leader for drama. So the drama pathway, it's very, very different to how you will have explored drama in Year 8. Anyone can take it if they wish to. You don't have to want to take GCSE, but if you do want to take GCSE, I strongly recommend that you do opt for it. We're going to be looking at a variety of styles and genres of drama throughout the year. And the main purpose of that is to be able to structure it towards performance. This course is different to performing arts because you'll be focusing pretty much on the acting, although we do explore design in some depth as well, which will also be a little bit different to what you've experienced in Year 8, although you are doing some preparation for that currently. So it is drama based, there's no singing, there's no dancing. However, we do a lot of scripted work. You get to create a longer device project using theatre and education techniques. We'll be watching live theatre through YouTube and other various means, and we'll be evaluating it, forming judgments on it. The main thing is that with GCSE drama, it offers so much more than just the acting. It's really about those transferable skills that are going to stand you in good stead whatever that you do. So teamwork, communication skills, social skills, leadership skills, lots and lots of creative thinking, negotiation, really, really important, self-awareness and language skills as well. And that's going to help you whatever you do. But if you are interested in acting, then, you know, you're going to be able to perform scripts. You're going to be devising from all sorts of stimuli, stories, paintings, music, all sorts, and we'll be watching some live theatre, as I said. It's a very diverse course. We do lots of different topics. It involves you having to think quite deeply about a lot of things and quite maturely. As you know, it will be a double lesson. You'll be in kit. So it's just a very, very different experience, and it allows you a lot of time to explore creatively. It's been very, very popular in the past. There's lots of students that have taken it. So if you do enjoy drama and you're not sure whether you want to take it for GCSE or not, then, you know, I think the time is to, you know, opt for it and see what happens. But yeah, as I said, it's not just about acting, there's the design as well. But you have to be prepared to perform. And that is one thing you need to be aware of, that you do need to be prepared to perform in front of other people. So that's just something to think about. So I will now hand over to Bex Green, Food.
Just unmuting you, Bex. Sorry, won't be a moment. Hopefully that's going to let me click it now. There we go.
Hi, good evening everyone. I'm Rebecca Green. I'm head of technology and food at Ringwood. With the food pathway, as we've got 2 GCSE options in food, we've got the catering and hospitality, and we've also got food and nutrition. So they're 2 very different courses at GCSE. So what we've done in Year 9 is to design a course really for a year to kind of complement both courses. So we've got a bit of presentation of foods to try and make us the next Gordon Ramsay or any famous chef that everyone's into at the moment. We've also then got the functions of food, a bit of science in there, why sugars in cakes, or why are eggs in a quiche, and things like that. But we also do foods from all around the world and where our food comes from, because obviously we eat every day, we need it, and we need to know where it comes from. We cook most weeks. Most of the time we cook every other week, and then each week, the alternative week, we do some theory, but we also do some science experiments. We make a lot of mess, we eat a lot of things, and then we clear up again. So we like to think it's a nice, fun atmosphere, and hopefully you enjoy that. We then hopefully will lead you on to hotel and hospitality and catering, which is more about the catering industry. And then maybe on to college. We've got quite a few students go on to Brockenhurst College or Bournemouth and Paul College. Very proud of our ongoing students. Or we can have the GCSE Food and Nutrition, which is more about the science of food and the properties of food. Okay, so hopefully we'll see a lot of your lovely faces in food next year. I'm going to pass you over to Lindsay Himmel to talk to you about music. Thank you.
Hello, good evening everyone. I'm Lindsay Himmel, I'm Head of Music at Ringwood. So the music pathway is a bit of a buy one get one free, because you have one lesson a week of music and one lesson a week of music technology. And Mr. Nicholas is going to talk to you about music technology in a second. We then have two choices at Key Stage 4. So the music pathway can lead you into GCSE music or into studying a BTEC in music technology. So there are two options. You can only do one at Key Stage 4, but we like you to experience both so that you can make an informed choice. The first thing I'd like to say is that music is for everybody. You don't need to be able to play an instrument. You don't have to be able to read music, so please don't let that put you off. It's a very practical subject. It's very collaborative. We do lots of paired and group work, and that is quite different to what you're experiencing at the moment. You're doing a lot more written work, a lot more listening. When we get back to school, it will be a lot more practical, lots of performing, lots of composing. So in music, you're going to learn about the blues and how that led on to pop music. That'll come alongside playing some ensemble work, so group work, playing some pop music, and also composing a pop song. We also study music for special occasions and film music, and we'll be composing lots of different film music to go with clips, and that will be in a sort of real variety of styles. So very varied, performing, composing and listening, which are the three strands that take us through into GCSE and then right up into A-level, and you'll get to experience all those things. That's for a single lesson, and then you have one single lesson after that within the double, which will be music technology. So I'd like to ask Mr. Nicholas, please, Andy Nicholas, if he could explain a little bit about music technology.
Okay, thanks, Lindsay. My name's Andy Nicholas, and I teach music technology. Lots of people often say, what's the difference then between music and music technology? Because we use software and we use computers in both. But the main thing really is that what I teach is more the technical side of things. So if Lindsay's going to be teaching you things like harmony and melody and rhythms and things like that, the sort of thing that I do is where the computers come into it. And we use a program called Cubase, which is an industry standard piece of software. Lots of films that you'll see, lots of music that you'll hear will have been recorded using that software. And we'll use that. We'll use things like microphones as well. So you'll learn about how to set microphones up, how to record things. And as far as what we actually do in the course, the different kind of topics, we start off just with a general idea of what Cubase is like. So we go through, there's a piece of music already created, and we sort of go through and learn how to play it, how to rewind, if you rewind on a computer, those kinds of things. Then we do a project where we use loops. So we create a piece of music out of loops. Then we go into another project where we've got a video, which is an advert, and we can put that onto the Cubase program and we can write music to it. So it's all in time. We do a remix project. And as I said, we do an audio project as well. So we get to record things, and we can either record a piece of music, or if you like, we can record things like samples. So you could record yourself singing a note, and then we can spread it out across the keyboard, and you can be a choir all by yourself. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that we do in music technology.
Thanks very much, Andy. And we're going to pass on back to Bex. Sorry, Bex, I'm just going to take me a second. There we go. We're on mute.
Back to me. So, as I'm head of technology as well, I'm going to talk to you just about the technology pathway. Again, in Key Stage 4, in Year 10, we offer two courses from the tech pathway. One is GCSE in Design and Technology, so that's your woodwork kind of project and area, and graphics kind of combined into one topic at one subject. The other option is BTEC Engineering. So therefore the Year 9 technology pathway package has been designed to take both of those courses in mind, so you can make an informed choice. So you're going to be starting with, to help you with the engineering side of it, you're going to be making using aluminium, so the metal work, and making a torch. So you're using all the machinery needed to make that. you're also going to design that on a 3D CAD package called SolidWorks. So you can go into industry using that. So that's an industry program. You then, for the woodwork side of it, you create and design and draw a wooden box to put your torch in. So it's a whole package. So you learn from the start, from the design all the way to the finished project. You also do some graphical skills and architectural modelling, because many of our students are really interested in architecture. So we've put that into the Year 9 pathway at the end as well. With the technology pathway, as well as food, they are life skills, so using equipment. So you don't really need to be massively great with it at the moment. So that's the whole point of coming to school, to learn new things and to get better. So don't be put off if you've not enjoyed it so much this in Year 7 and 8. You do a lot more in Year 9. You really get into the depths of it. So we hope to see you in technology.
Thanks, Bex.
I'm going to pass on to Lupe for Spanish.
Hello, my name is Lupe Ibanez. I'm head of Spanish. And if you decide to take Spanish for Year 9, this will be a great opportunity to pick up a second language, which is widely spoken. You might really enjoy your French, and so that will be a fantastic thing then to take a second language, because then your French is going to really help your Spanish. Both of them have very similar skills, so you will be really benefiting from studying both of them. But even if you might not be enjoying your French as much as you would, taking Spanish would be a great opportunity to do something slightly different. Loads of you, I'm sure, go on holiday to Spain and maybe have family living there. So it's great being able to speak a little bit the language. So in Spanish, what you are going to be learning next year is things like introducing yourself, talking about your family, describing people. You're going to be able to talk about activities that you do during the free time, giving opinions, talking and describing where you live, talking about your school subjects, likes, dislikes. You of course will be learning about different points of grammar, different tenses, and obviously you will learn a lot about the culture. So it's not only the grammar, it's not only the vocabulary, but also the culture, the Spanish way of life. And I think that you will really enjoy it. And the best thing is that we will have 3 lessons a week, which is a lot of time that we're getting. So giving you time to make progress in Spanish and to enjoy it. So hopefully we will see loads of you next year. And now I pass you over to Ian to talk about performing arts. Thank you.
Just passing over to Ian now. Thank you, Lupe. See, is that unmuting you, sir? Or do you need to do it? There we go. All done.
I am unmuted. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Ian Hawkins. I'm the head of Performing Arts, and I'm here to talk to you about a slightly different kind of option system that we have in school for BTEC Performing Arts. So you don't need to do anything on your options form about this, because we're going to sort this out in September when we get back, and we'll come and talk to you in PE lessons. Because if you choose BTEC Performing Arts, you don't do the double PE lesson that you have in Year 9. And you then won't do the double PE lesson you'd have in Year 10 and 11. So it's kind of an opt-out from PE to allow you to do this very, very practical BTEC course in Performing Arts, which is based on musical theatre. So first of all, please don't think like I would have done. It's a good way of getting out of PE if you don't like it, because it really isn't. You need to, it's very, very physical. The dance part of it, which is usually at least half of the lesson, is very, very physical, all the fitness stuff going on, warm-ups and all sorts of dance. So it is very practical. As Mrs. Delancey Green said about drama, you do need to be able to be prepared to perform in front of each other and in front of us. So that might be a consideration for 1 or 2 people. You'll do that in an incredibly supportive atmosphere, but you will need to perform. Obviously, it's performing arts. So it comprises acting, singing and dancing. And we do those 3 disciplines separately, and then we obviously combine them to do sort of songs and numbers from musical theatre. We have 2 groups in year 9, 10 and 11 at the moment, and a really large group in the 6th form from September. We've got lots and lots of, about 20 year 12s who are going to do it as one of their courses, or in some cases 2 of their courses. So they get a lot of lessons. So it's a very popular course. I've just looked up the numbers for Seussical. We had 37 year 8s who were going to be in Seussical, which should have been next week. So I would really hope that those people at the very least would be thinking about doing this. But as I said, it's not, you don't need to worry about it on your options form. We'll sort it out in September. And obviously, if you want to ask me any questions, then do so. And I'm going to hand back to Michelle now.
Just before you do that, Michelle, may I just pose some questions to you that have been coming through the chat, if that's all right? Perhaps you could help out with you. So a couple of questions coming in about can I change? I did my form last week and I've seen all this amazing presentation. So can I change my option?
You can. Do you know what? As soon as I posted that email, I had a number of very keen year 8s that were very excited and logged on and straight away wrote their answers in and sent it to me. But once you've done it once, you can't do the form again. And there was a handful of students that have already emailed me. So if you have changed your mind, just email me directly with very clearly, I've made an error. I would like to do option A, option B, and what's my reserve. And then I'll keep a note of that separately. Yeah, I've already done that for a few people already.
Thank you. And another question, which is, when will we find out what option we've been successful with?
I am going to do my utmost to make sure that I let all the year 8s know what they've got, ideally by the summer holidays, but it might sneak into the first week of the summer holidays. But I'll try and make sure that I've got all that sorted out as soon as I possibly can. If a student, if I can't make it fit, if, for example, we've got a course that's massively oversubscribed and I just can't staff another class, I will look at the reserve, but I will always contact the student straight away to say, here's my issue, and how can we resolve it? And we'll do that together.
It leads on to another question, if I can then. And is it that if I don't take it for my creative option in year 9, does that stop me taking any subjects at GCSE, for example, engineering? So if I don't do it at year 9, am I still good to opt for it at GCSE?
Okay, so the idea is, in the best will in the world, that this year 9 is very much a taster year. So it might be that the student tastes it, does not like it, and therefore they don't choose it in year 10. And actually, that's a really positive thing, because otherwise they would have chosen it in year 10 and been stuck on a GCSE course. If it's the other way around, they've tried it in year 9 and they really like it, they're going to upskill themselves for year 10. So year 10 is separate. They do get a new options form, which is completely fresh, and all options are open to everybody. But obviously, if it's Spanish and they haven't done a year of Spanish compared to everyone else, then they might struggle a little bit more. But if they're already fluent in Spanish, that's not going to be a problem. So for all of the subjects open to re-choosing in year 10, but obviously there's a massive benefit of having a taster in year 9.
Yeah. And of course, if you wanted to be a dual linguist and perhaps you wanted German over Spanish, then we're just waiting another year to be able to pick that up as a dual linguist if need be, but not in this creative slot.
No, we're not doing any German with the creative slot. We have a number of specialists in our languages department for French and Spanish, and we don't for German. And so therefore we play to our strengths, and we know that we can help your sons and daughters get very good French marks, very good Spanish marks if they do the exam. If they're interested in German, we've got a number of links within our languages department to point you in the right direction to study it outside of school. But we can't currently do that within school.
And just one final question that's just popped in that I think might be on a few parents and students' minds. If a subject is oversubscribed, how do you manage the fairness of that process?
Yeah, I'm very transparent with how we do things. We'll do it exactly like we do the real year 10 options. Normally, I can make it fit. I can work a little bit of shifting around between all of the classes that I've got to make sure nearly everybody gets what they want. if I get to a sticking point, we will rank order all of the students in terms of their behaviour points that they got pre-lockdown. And that's what we've done with the year 10s. And so the students that do the right thing will get the first pick, and then we'll have set up a waiting list. I haven't had to do that in the last couple of years for year 8 creative options going into year 9. Normally I can make them fit.
Okay, and that will always be in conjunction with the parent and the student, like you write instead as well, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the questions for now, so I'll keep going.
Okay, so the key things to when you're having your conversations with your sons and daughters that I'd really emphasise is for the students to choose things that they're passionate about. I want them to be able to wake up in the morning when they can finally get back into school, look at their timetable and think, today I've got drama, today I've got food, today I've got Spanish, and get excited by it. So choose things that they're passionate about, that they're talented in, they show some talents in, that they think it might be useful for later. Elise, when she was talking about drama, for example, she was talking about communication and thinking outside the box. These are all skills that are going to make our young people more well-rounded and ready for their next stage in GCSEs. Do not get your sons and daughters, or try and prevent your sons and daughters talking to their friends and just being a bit of a sheep and writing what they have. Because there's no guarantee. I have to do so much jiggling around to ensure that everybody gets what they want. There's no way that the sons and daughters, even if they pick exactly the same thing, might be in the same class. They might be completely shifted around. So very much choose it for the subject, not because friends are doing it, and certainly not because the teacher they like, because they don't know who that might be at the moment. If we could just go on to the last slide. Thank you, Claire. So hopefully you are aware that your sons and daughters received an email from myself on last Wednesday. So if they haven't found it, or it's squirreled away in a lot of different email inbox, then have a look for the email that I sent on the 17th of June. On there is a direct link to an online form. And the online form is very, very simple. It just asks for surname, forename, their tutor group, just so it makes it a bit easier for me to sort on their tutor group, to choose one option, to choose a second option, and there's no preference there for first or second, and then a reserve option. And like I said, I'll use that reserve option for knowledge, but I will be talking to the boys and girls in year 8 if I need to use it. The deadline is next Monday, and it seems a short turnaround, but it's a quick online form. The students have had the presentation pack issued out last week, and it just means that I can try and get to that deadline of making sure that young people know about their choices by the summer holidays. Claire, is there any further questions that have come up?
No, I can see that Joe has fielded one with regards to the art, so thank you very much, colleagues, to you guys for keeping an eye on the chat. So nothing that has come up that we haven't already covered. So I think I think it's all clear.
Superb. If I could just say a very big thank you to our subject leaders, because they're working extremely hard at the minute, both in emergency school, doing the face-to-face sessions with our year 10s and 12s, as well as teaching the young people at Ringwood School online and doing live lessons and marking and feedback. It's quite difficult at the minute, and they're doing a great job. So thank you very much to the subject leaders. And I'll pass back over to you, Claire.
Well, thank you very, very much, everybody, for joining this evening. If you notice that there are year 8 parents who perhaps you notice not on the call, please do flag to them that the video of this session will go live tomorrow on our YouTube channel. So if you can just let parents know that, then we'd be most grateful. Obviously, if you've got any questions, you can email directly into Michelle Barker-Garrett, or if you need to send it into schoolclosure@ringwood.hants.sch.uk. We'd be happy to field that and pass that on. So if you've got any direct questions, please do get in contact. We'll have a look through the chat, and if there's anybody that sort of we haven't answered the questions, then we'll make sure we come back to you on that. Thank you so much for your positive messages and feedback that's coming through the chat now. We really appreciate it. It's doing all of this a little bit blind at the moment with not having the feedback. So as we've said before in the Zoom calls, and you can see Mrs. Allsop down there showing her happy face to the students, that actually getting your positive feedback makes us know we're doing the right thing, we're on the right lines, and we're always looking to make things better when we can. So your feedback is much appreciated. So we hope you have a good rest of your evening. Enjoy the sunshine. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic week this week weather-wise. And do go and look for that email with the form link on it. The sooner you can fill that in, the better it is for Michelle to get started with options, and the better chance of getting the options that you want. So thank you again, and have a good rest of your evening.